So has everyone seen the video of House Speaker Nancy Pelosi drunk off her gavel? Well, it's making the rounds on right-wing media. It's been pulled from some social media, not been pulled from other social media, and it shows her slurring her words and apparently unsure of herself and just talking slowly, and it's basically pretty horrible, pretty devastating. And as the Washington Post reported, it's fake. It's been slowed down so that it sounds as though she can't speak properly, and then the pitch has been artificially raised so it's back to her normal tone of voice. So it sounds like she's speaking with her real voice, but in slurred fashion. So it's fake. And one reason, and these things make the rounds all the time, and we don't necessarily comment on them. They go by. They're terrible, and there are important reasons why they're terrible. But we don't always take the time to say something about them. But the reason I wanted to say something about this one today is because you may also have seen, just around the same time, there's a video out there. It's really kind of amazing and technically cool and all that, of the Mona Lisa, and you see her and she is doing the Mona Lisa thing, and then she kind of looks at you, and it's weird because it's the same face and it's 3D. And I was thinking about the two of them, and something we need to confront about fake news is that fake news is not going to be restricted to text within our lifetime. Even if you're really old, this is within your lifetime. We're going to have fake news that will consist of video of real people doing things that they did not do. So if we think it's wild that we can fake Nancy Pelosi speaking in a drunk manner now, 3 years from now, we're going to have fake Nancy Pelosi swinging from chandeliers and pantsing John Boehner, for all we know. And it's going to look real. It's going to look real. And there's only one way to really socially inoculate ourselves against this. And that's what I wanted to talk about today. Because when we see things like that, it feels like it matters. It feels like we're getting, right, if we see this video of Pelosi, it feels like we're getting a secret glimpse of her, right? And that triggers things in our brains that make us think we're privy now to a reality that was hidden from us before, right? And the fact that we intuit that it was hidden, that gives it an importance, because that implies the existence of someone who wanted to hide it from us for a reason. So it kind of triggers all of these impulses, not necessarily rational impulses, that tell us this is a secret, this is someone to hide from us, and it matters. It gives us a secret glimpse into Pelosi. Maybe it means she's always drunk, so she's always irrational. This explains the decisions I don't agree with, right? So it feels like it's coming with all of this explanatory power, which is why we treat it like it matters. Believe it, whether we believe it's real or not, we treat it like it matters. Aha, we've been given an aha moment, so we latch onto it. And we neglect things that are actually more important. And I'm getting to the inoculation part, I promise. This is the sort of unaddressed perils of social media, I think. The idea that unreality can come at us through social media. Obviously that matters, it's really important, but just as important is the reality that it comes at us in an undifferentiated manner, okay? And what I mean by that is, we used to have a newspaper every morning, and you knew that what was above the fold was more important than what was below the fold. And what was up here in the top right corner, that was the lead story. This is the assessment. There were no words that said it, but the assessment visually was, you knew instantly, this is important but less important, and this might be kind of features-y but related to big social trends or interesting new cultural moments. And then if you turn the pages and you go to page 26 or whatever, you see a story there. Maybe that's important to someone, maybe it's the kind of thing we have to keep our eye on for the long term, but there was a hierarchy baked into the reality. And knowing what's important is just as important, if not more so sometimes, than what's actually real. And so the only way we're going to inoculate ourselves effectively against fake news, which now, as we've been talking about, has the capacity to mimic real news in video, and it's going to be video and audio very soon. The only way to inoculate ourselves against that is to start not listening to our instincts about what's important and consciously applying rationality to our decision making about what to pay attention to. So if a video pops up in your feed of Nancy Pelosi drunk, we need to ignore essentially that impulse to treat it as if it's up here, right? Because really it probably belongs on the funny pages. So it's okay to pay attention to it, but we're going to have to retrain our instincts and not treat everything that feels like it ought to be up here as if it actually ought to be up here. Not everything that feels urgent and important is actually the lead story. And some of the things that feel only as important as the stuff that was on page 26, climate change being a great example, we need to start training our instincts to focus on that as if it's the most important thing in the world, because it is. So the only way we're going to inoculate ourselves against fake news is by consciously training ourselves to ignore unimportant news.